Hello everyone. Today we are going to witness the newspaper article on the first man who walked on moon. This article is published in July 21st, 1969 in New York Times. So this is the headline: Men walk on moon. Astronauts land on plane, collect rocks, plant flag. Voice, and in the left side they are written the voice from moon, the conversation about the satellite, the eagle in which they traveled. So in the left it's given, and right side you can see the article written about it. And a poetry named voice a poetry named Voice to the Moon, you can see written below on left side. Three images in center: Neil Armstrong, the first person who steps on the moon, the image in first side. The second and third three images are shown here. And the President of United States of America, Nixon, telephones and congratulates. That message is written on the right side, right below side. So this is the first picture. It says about Neil Armstrong moves away from the leg of landing craft after taking the first step on the surface of the moon. Colonel Edwin A. Aldrin Jr. climbing down the ladder. The television camera was attached to the side of the lunar module. And the third image is Mr. Armstrong at right side, and Colonel Aldrin raised the United States flag. A metal rod at the right angles to the mast keeps a flag unfurled. The article is written by A Powdery Surface is Closely Explored, written by John Noble Wilford. Houston, Monday, July 21st. Men have landed and walked on the moon. Two Americans, astronauts of Apollo 11, steered their fragile four-legged lunar module safely and smoothly to the historic landing yesterday at 4 hours 17 minutes and 40 seconds p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Neil Armstrong, the 38-year-old civilian commander, radioed to the Earth and the mission control room here. Houston Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. The first men to reach the moon, Mr. Armstrong and his co-pilot, Colonel Edwin E. Aldrin Jr. of the Air Force, brought the ship to rest on a level, rock-strewn plain near the southwestern shore of the arid Sea of Tranquility. About 6.5 hours later, Mr. Armstrong opened the landing craft's hatch, stepped slowly down the ladder, and declared as he planted the first human footprint on the lunar crust. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. His first step on the moon came at 10 hours 56 minutes 20 seconds p.m. as a television camera outside the craft transmitted his every move to an awed and excited audience of hundreds of millions of people on Earth. Tentative steps test soil. Mr. Armstrong's initial steps were tentative tests for the lunar soil's firmness and of his ability to move about easily in his bulky white spacesuit and backpacks and under the influence of lunar gravity, which is 1/6 that of the Earth. The surface is fine and powdery, the astronauts reported. I can pick it up loosely with my toe. I thus adore in fine layers with powdered charcoal to the sole and sides of my boots. I only go in a small fraction of an inch, maybe an eighth of an inch, but I can see the footprints of my boots in the treads in the fine sandy particles. After 19 minutes of Mr. Armstrong's testing, Colonel Aldrin joined him outside the craft. The two men got busy setting up another television camera out from the lunar module, planting an American flag into the ground, scoping up soil and rock samples, deploying scientific experiments, and hopping and loping about in a demonstration of their lunar agility. They found walking and working on the moon less taxing than had been forecast. Mr. Armstrong once reported he was very comfortable. And people back on Earth found the black and white television pictures of the bug-shaped lunar module and the men tramping about it so sharp and clear as to see unreal more like a toy and toy-like figures than human beings on the most daring and far-reaching expedition thus far undertaken. Now, coming to the next article, Nixon telephones congratulations. During one break in the astronauts' work, President Nixon congratulated them from the White House in what he said certainly has to be the most historic telephone call ever made. Because of what you have done, the president told astronauts, the heavens have become a part of man's world. And as we talk us to us from the sea of tranquility, it requires us to redouble our efforts to bring peace and tranquility to earth. For a priceless moment, the whole history of man, all the people on this earth are truly one. One in their pride in what you have done, one in our prayers that you will return safely to earth. Mr. Armstrong replied, "Thank you, Mr. President. It's a great honor and privilege for us to be here, representing not only the United States, but men of peace of all nations, men with interest and a curiosity, and men with a vision for the future." Mr. Armstrong and Colonel Aldrin returned to the landing craft and closed the hatch at 1:12 a.m., 2 hours 21 minutes after opening the hatch on the moon. While the third member of the crew, Lieutenant Colonel Michael Collins of the Air Force, kept his orbital vigil overhead in the command ship, the two moon explorers settled down to sleep. Outside the vehicle, astronauts had found a bleak. Outside the vehicle, astronauts had found a bleak. So this is the article, and you can see a poem, "Voyage to the Moon," written by Archibald MacLeish. Left. This is a conversation they had after landing on the moon from Eagle, the Luna module. That's all. The New York Times article, published in year 1969, July 21st, Monday. Thank you.